Cold, brisk morning. The day after Thanksgiving, I'm recording this. I just finished the first part of feeding, which is basically just the actual grain feed or pelletized feed and the dog food. That's part one of the regimen. They also get their primary diet's hay. Not the dogs, of course, but all the other animals that are on four legs. Their primary diet is hay, especially in the winter. But the grains and the pellets does help them get through the winter a little bit better. Everybody's eating. It's a pretty cold morning. I don't know what his name is yet. I'm not sure. He's all white. He's a pretty good boy. This one here, we have three different levels of color in these three pups. This one is all white. This one here is partially colored. And then the one that's still over there next to Bailey, this one, has the most color. And we're not really finalized with any names yet. And we did have an incident. These pups, they must be getting very hungry very quickly because they've been growing very interested in eating chickens. So we're trying to take care of that by making sure they get fed an extra amount in the evening so they don't grow too hungry over a 12-hour period and decide to eat livestock. That's not good. We've got some goats finishing off a few little pieces of dog food, which isn't good, but they're not going to get hurt by just a little bit. In fact, it might actually be good to have their system exposed to a little bit of something that isn't really great for them. Bailey, who is the mother of all the pups here, I believe she has just gotten pregnant by this guy who can't seem to keep it in his pants or in his fur and can't seem to keep himself out of the pens. Even though there's fencing and barbed wire across all of them, he seems to be able to teleport himself from one side of the fence to the other. Don't know how he's doing that. You need to stop doing that. Look, all the sheep have come down. They are still, look at this one. Oh my goodness. Look at all those cocklebur seeds on her. Or him. That's a him. Good grief. That's not a sheep, that's a cocklebur. They're going to have to come out by themselves because these sheep, they've been just taking care of themselves in our field basically the whole year, so they're just not used to us handling them. So for us to groom them and get these seeds out of them is going to be an impossibility. Of course, we're going to try and do what we can because we don't want to see them like this. It is kind of unsightly, and God knows they're going to drop these seeds and then we're going to have a bigger problem next year. So hopefully they'll all come out and we'll figure out a way to deal with the cockleburs next year. I have some ideas in my head, but it's going to be time consuming, but probably worth it. Alright, the horses came down. I gave them all some all-stock pellets out here. Here's Sunny and the foal, the little filly. She's doing fantastic. I think she's got a couple of cocklebur seeds in her also. Yeah, it seems like it, but you can't really see the seeds in her. It's like her hairs are kind of wrapping around them and hiding them. So they came down, so I gave them some feed out here. Usually I'll only feed the animals out here in the field if they come down here. If they come down here and they're here, then they'll get fed. I'm not going to throw feed down for all the scavenger birds I've got here, which is what I call them, because no matter what kind of feed you throw or where you throw it, they will run after it and eat it all. So I don't want to just give all stock to the field animals and have the ducks eat it all before they even get a chance to eat any. What's the matter, Andre? You've eaten. You've gotten yours. Huh? Is it cold out? Yeah? What's the matter? What is it? I know. Okay. All right. In a little while. I haven't done hay yet, so that's probably what he's belly aching about. You can see my tracks from the mower going to the hay stall. Whew. It's getting cold. My fingers are so numb. I don't know. I think many of our viewers are much further south than we are. There are some periods of time during some days of the year that I wish I was with you guys, perhaps down in the southern states, South Florida. But I tell you what, not very often. Even though it's cold here, it's so beautiful that just doesn't outweigh the cold. This is our mini bush hog. It's not really a bush hog. It's a self-contained kind of giant mower, like brush clearing kind of thing. Has a little bit of an issue. I think the blades need to be balanced, because the engine runs great. What is that, a 12.5? Yeah, 12.5 horsepower. The engine runs great, but when you throttle it up so that it gets a good fast cut, the vibration of the whole thing is terrible, and the engine vibrates so badly it looks like it's going to break the bolts and just fly off the deck. I'll have to show you guys at some point. But the engine itself runs pretty smooth, and I think it's those blades that need to be balanced or something. I'm not sure. I've been clearing a lot of the wood pieces that have been in here, just scattered around. I've been throwing them in the mower, bringing them up to the house for burning, which we have started burning the wood stove in the house for heat, which is significantly less expensive than running the heat pump. Our heat pump seems to have a problem. Its efficiency is so bad that running the heat pump part of it draws 5 to 6 times the electric usage that the air conditioner does. Now, I know heat will use more electricity than air conditioning, but definitely not 5 to 6 times. You know, going from about $7 or $8 a day for running air conditioning to $27 to $35 a day to run heat pump, that just doesn't seem to be right. Okay, so like I said, I've got everybody fed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just go in and warm up for a little bit, and I'll be back out, and we'll carry on the video, because I'm going to do hay. I'm going to get hay from the hay stall and distribute it, and I'm going to go and get some more of that wood and bring it up to the house. And then I think I'm probably going to I'm going to probably grab the chainsaw and make sure that it's running good, do what I got to do to it, clean it up, and then probably go out back and collect a little bit more firewood for today. So with that, see you in a few. All right, so I've gotten a lot of the midsection cleanup done today. I don't think I'm going to be doing the chainsaw out back today. It is getting a little bit late in the day, and I haven't even really scoped out any trees to cut down. We might go ahead and just run back there and see if there's anything obvious, but for right now, this little bit is all we have left here in the tobacco barn, with a little bit of good usable lumber down at the end. I know there's a 6x6, a 4x4, a couple of 2x4s, and some other little pieces over there. There's a few pieces of true dimension 2x4s here, which I'm probably going to use to close up this little section, just to keep the animals from getting from here into there to eat all the hay. I want to protect the hay from being eaten, like, I don't know if you can see this roll right here. See, this has been eaten by the horses that put their heads through here and just start eating on that roll. So I want to close this up, I want to close that up, and all those other big pieces, so they won't stick their heads through and start eating the hay that are stored in here from one end to the other for winter. So I've got a lot of the burnable wood picked out and brought to the front stoop where it comes in the house for the wood stove. And I've also got a lot of the stuff that's been partially buried, that's kind of moldy and iffy. I've gotten that separated out and down on the wood burning pile. And there's also some of these large pieces that have grown punky also on the bottom, very moldy, that's seeping up through them, and it's just deteriorating on the bottom. So I'm probably just going to burn these on the burn pile. This one, that one, that one, maybe that one. That one might be a good splitting log to bring out to the front. There's some dimensional lumber here, some 2x and whatnot, which can probably be used to close up some sections, maybe across the bottom over there, but not sure what's going on with that yet. Plus, I've got this piece, which we can probably just put vertically in one of these openings. But anyway, just a little bit more to go here, and then this front section, once we finish or fix this opening, we can section this off inside for the cows, which we've already got the cow. She's next door. She's pregnant. Her name is Moon. At some point soon, you're going to see her. We'll, of course, make a video about her. We've had her for a long time. She's actually been at the neighbor's house for a few years now, but you'll see her soon. She is pregnant, and so we'll have a mama and a baby, and that'll make us able to milk her as well. So you'll see more of that. And then we've got to just clear this section on the other side to make a pen for the inside section over here. So anyway, let's take a ride out back and see if we can spot anything for firewood. All right, so we've gotten just to the gate of the back section, the back 20, and I notice here, I did this about a year ago. I cut these couple of large cedar branches off of this tree right here, about a year ago, a little more than a year ago, because they used to hang out so low right here where we drive through They've been sitting here a while, and they're pretty a decent size. They will make a bunch of different logs for wood burning. And the thing with cedar is, though, it burns so quickly that it won't be a good burn for time-wise, but they do burn very hot, so that's a plus. So I'll probably start with that right there, cut those up into individual logs for burning, and then continue from there. All right, let's get a little deeper and see what we've got. All right, the lighting back here is unique. You can see my shadow. The sun is getting a little bit low. Anyway, back here by the pond, we've got a couple of different sections that we usually harvest wood from. On the other side of the pond, straight ahead, over there, there's a pretty good section there. There's a lot of like fallen trees that are not so big, most of them cedar. Some of the ones that are not cedar tend to get a little bit punky though, which is, you know, my way of just saying kind of soaked, waterlogged, kind of moldy, rotted at the same time. So burning them is not so great. They'll either smoke up a lot or not burn very well, maybe even stink. I do know this section over here, I remember seeing a dead upright tree. Let's see, going a little bit further here. Okay, a little pathway right here. Oh no, it's not dead at all, is it? It's just blown over. If I get a little bit closer, yeah, that's pretty dead. There's a couple of live branches on there. Yeah, it's a cedar. So, yeah, this is all live. It's just fallen over. That's interesting. Okay, so that one is off limits for now. Let's see if there was another one that I could see. Anyway, this section over here isn't bad either. There's some very large trees in this section, and then over back in that section there's a lot of downed cedars. Oh, there's another. Both of these trees that are leaning were not like this last year. Let's see. That's the dead one that I saw. Okay. Yes, I remember that's the dead one that I saw. So that one I'll probably take down, and if it's not too rotted, that'll make pretty decent firewood. So that'll probably be first on the list, that tree right there. And then the other section is basically the side of this whole hill, which runs from back here all the way to the front of the 20 acres back here. So we'll get to that probably next week sometime. I've got plenty of wood right now to last quite a few days. All right, that'll be it for now. A little out of breath because I'm wearing some pretty heavy boots. Anyway, we will get back to you again soon. Bell Bell. Hi Bell, good morning.